Hey there, this is Cheyenne, otherwise known as Quills and Spells, and welcome to the 4th round of our 6th round duel. Prepare to fight me. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna fight anybody. I am too weak and tired. Instead, we're just gonna watch me draw my character Regina some more. So, I talked already about Regina as a character, about how she's a part of my podcast, shameless plug-in, Tales of Familial Eternity, links in the description. But she's also a part of this AU thing where I inject her into the bloodstreams of several different podcasts, but mostly the Adventure Zone. If you haven't heard about it yet, now you have. But we're moving along in the whole timeline of the plot of that particular podcast, and at this particular point, I don't know how much of this I can get into without going into blatant spoiler territory, but I'm gonna try to keep it to a minimum. One of the fun bits about this part of the podcast is that it's essentially like a Fast and Furious, Mad Max, other insane racing car movies, where it's just they're racing wagons. That's the whole arc that they go through here. But one of the fun things that happens outside of the fact that it's just inherently fun to watch people race while explosives are happening is that there's also this sort of masquerade ball-esque thing going on here. Everybody gets cool masks to sort of hide their identity, and Regina was allowed to partake in this event. It was a foolish idea, but somebody let her do it. And my first compulsion was to give her a raven's mask, because as I've stated before, Regina is a death character. So it just makes a lot of sense to me that she would have the raven, quoth the raven, as it were. Unfortunately, there's already a raven character within the canon of the podcast anyway. So besides, that probably would have been a little too on the nose. So it's probably a good thing I didn't have that as an immediate option. So I had to figure some other kind of workaround. I guess I could have gone with a crow, but crows and ravens are pretty similar. So that would have just been a lame knockoff. So I decided to do instead was do this spider thing. I think I briefly mentioned that Regina thinks spiders are cute, so why wouldn't she want to go and pretend to be a spider for this weird event? And in terms of her outfit progressions, this one is clearly significantly fancier than the last one. It's so fancy, she has spider socks, which just help reinforce the fact that her face is a spider mask. But I think here we are getting real close to what Regina's usual outfits tend to be like. This one is pretty elaborate in and of itself. The skirt is pretty fancy. It has a second layer underneath. There's also this weird sort of pattern that you'll see in a moment that gets etched onto the skirt. It's divided up into sections. All of that good stuff. And even the top part of this outfit, you see, those are all the fancy lines I was talking about. But yeah, even the top part of her outfit is a little bit more elaborate. It's not just a black top. It's something a little bit more substantial than that. It's still not exactly what her outfits tend to be. You'll see in a moment that these colors are also a little bit darker. A part of it really was to help reinforce the idea that this is a spider. So you're going to see a lot of grays and purples, because those are the colors that tend to be associated with spiders. So this certainly hasn't quite fit her aesthetic like it normally does, but it's definitely getting closer. We're at least getting like the design of the outfit down. Maybe not so much the color, but like, you know, it's progress. We're getting there. You're also going to see that like this is one of the first times where the color red is going to start infiltrating the outfits themselves, like the actual dress. Before it was like accessories, like you would see the like, so far she had like red shoes, and then like the hair tie was red, and the little fluffy scarf thingy that she had was red. But here, like, the actual outfit itself has a little bit of red going on in it. It's mostly going on in the actual dress itself. You'll see in a moment that it's the middle piece, and it kind of trails down. Also, this is the cute little spider that I did. Thank God for like the snap tools in Fire Alpaca, by the way. Fire Alpaca, if you're listening, I fucking love your snap tools. It's the only thing keeping me going. That's not true, that's dramatic. But yeah, that snap tool is actually really helpful. Also, I didn't show you that before, but like, I added a little wand. You didn't see that in the line art spot because I didn't think about it until later. But yeah, I decided to give her a wand because she actually is a magic user. That's not something that was brought up too much before, but that's a thing. And this is the sort of arc where you would see her like using a lot more magic than perhaps she did otherwise. Also, did I tell you guys about the bullshit way that I do shadows sometimes? Because I don't think I have. Essentially, what you saw there is like I use just pure black, but then I also use the line art color. So it's mostly like the line art color that sort of shades it, and it's the black that kind of brings it down. It's because I don't want to use pure black to in anything, but even for shadows, because you always want to get like, if you use black, there isn't anything that's darker than black. So if you have a situation where you need one shadow to be darker than the other, you kind of screwed yourself a little bit. Which is why I don't use black. I also don't use white, but white is used far less often, so that isn't really something you have to do. But I'm an idiot and I like doing it anyway. I like avoiding white. I like staying directly in the middle. Yeah, that's cool. I'm sure you can like extrapolate that to politics. My immediate thought is like, just like in politics, but that's not true. I'm not a centrist. I don't know what I am, but not a centrist. But yeah. Man, look at the coloring of the light art. Look at that. I always find it funny watching these, only because like you don't see my cursor, which is on purpose. I kind of I move my cursor all over the place, and I think it would be a little bit jarring to just see like this little white arrow key just flying around everywhere. But the flip side is that it just looks like I'm looking at stuff and things are magically happening, which is how I wish art would go. I wish I didn't have to actually put the time and the effort to actually do anything. It would be wonderful if it could just do it itself. But yeah, I thought I'd have more to say about this particular one, because this outfit is a lot more elaborate than the other, all of them actually. Even when she was 7, because she was just a kid, I guess, her aesthetic didn't like firmly set in. Like, it was obviously there, because she had like this really cute baby version of the outfit she'll get later. But this is by far the most elaborate, but it also breaks really hard from like her usual sort of color scheme that she likes going on. And I thought I'd have more to say about that, but I guess that's basically it. Oops. At least the skull came back. The skull's in every single one of these videos. As it should be. I guess one more thing I can say, as this video starts wrapping up, is you're never done with art. You think you're done with the line art, and then a little bit later, you realize that you forgot something. You think that you're done with the coloring, but then it turns out, oh wait, there's like 3 pixels that are white and they shouldn't be. So there's always some level of going back and fixing the mistakes that you left out. It's just what I find funny about the way that I record is that I record these in segments, so it does happen a lot that I fix these minor mistakes like off screen, but it's always cute when you can get a little glimpse of that. Anyway, the background's here and it's been here for a little bit, so that's my cue to leave, but I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you around for next time. Bye! Later, gators!